My Scoutmaster voice going to be okay, or do you want me to use the mic? All right. Anybody ever heard me raise my voice before? Well, I was wrong about finding photographs. Yeah, but that kind of looked like I should have been singing for REO Speedwagon, and you guys didn't know REO Speedwagon. Saw late arrival, David. Thank you for making it. David Valdez is here, so thank you. I did take some notes, so I'll try and go through this. Kind of the theme of my talk is coming full circle, which it really is. I was talking to Pastor Schneider, and I realized that since 1978, I've been in this room, one way or another, either as a scout or as a leader, and it's kind of a lot of continuity for me here. And I also told him I'm Catholic, so I hope he still lets me come back next week. But probably my earliest scouting memory, I'm going to tell you about this because it's part of the full circle, is I went to a Eagle Scout Court of Honor for Mark Schindler. And he was a scout in the troop, and I went to his Court of Honor. And there was a scout that spoke at that Court of Honor, and his name was Chuck Bloom, who is now our Chuck Dodge, who's here. But I didn't know him at the time, and I didn't know that I would know him for the rest of my life very soon. But so kind of one of my earliest scouting experiences goes back to somebody who's actually in this room still today. So Chuck, I don't know where you are. There he is. All right. So thank you Chuck, for coming back. But and thank you all of you for this. This is really wonderful. Mark's words were humbling to me, to say the least. But I think what you heard him say is basically why I keep doing this. So thank you very, very much for that. Another Mark, Dodge, showed me a timeline that he's created of the patrol lineage, at least back to 1984. And he found a patrol that I was in, the Flaming Snowman Patrol. So that was really neat to see. I mean, and he's going to keep working on that in his role here as a once historian in our troop. I'm glad to see she's not here now, but Mrs. Abbott was here. She was the mother of 3 Eagle Scouts that were in the troop early on in my career. She got to stop by here a little while ago. I mentioned the scout that I camped with at Tomahawk the first year. His name was Steve Klebeck. He's also another adult who changed his name. His name is Steve Wolf now, but he lived across the street from Abbott's. He lived at 351 Betty Lane, so I spent a lot of time growing up at 351 Betty Lane. And that is also the address of Farley's now, so again, another thing that's come full circle. 351 Betty Lane, and the shag carpeting on the wall still exists. It's in the basement, so don't worry. The kitchen looks really nice now. Actually, next time let's just talk about the veterans. I'm glad they're here. Thank you, Jonathan. Kind of when I revived my experience with Troop 248, the veterans became a strong force in Troop 248, so I'm glad you're all still here, and thank you, Anthony, for awesome. Thanks, Joe. Anthony wrote me a nice little card and said something about thank you for sneaking him caffeine over all the years. Kind of his connection for caffeine, apparently. Sam and Jason, I also remember your first years at Tomahawk. I didn't quite go the same way as you remember, but it was great. There was a couple pictures of Ripley, Camp Ripley up there. We've gone to Ripley Rendezvous a couple years, and it's not that big a deal of a memory, but I don't know if anybody ever went up to Camp Ripley as when my dad was up there. Didn't you go up there sometime? What was it? Okay. The showers were amazing because you guys have no idea what showers used to be like. You could have as much hot water as you want. It was, boiling hot, and the pressure was incredible. And there was no water-saving feature at Camp Ripley. It was use as much hot water as you possibly can. It totally disregarded the environment, but it's actually a great memory. So if you ever get to Ripley Rendezvous, the showers are wonderful. Mr. Williamson was mentioned, and his letter was read. He's not here, but Tom Williamson, or he was just always Mr. W. He was my scoutmaster. He was also my principal at Garlow, which was kind of neat. I kind of felt some sense of pride that my scoutmaster was my principal. And one day after he retired, a number of years later, he dropped off a box of supplies, and in that box was one of those red wool jack shirts that scouts wear, and I'm still wearing it today. So I'm wearing my scoutmaster's jacket. That's pretty cool. I want to thank, I don't know if Matt's still here, Matt Murray, our district executive, was here, so I wanted to thank him for being here. I'm hesitant to mention names because I know I'm going to miss some people that are here. Lannons are here, that was great. Mary Jo is here, thank you. Sorry, I'm forgetting people. Wesley, thank you for coming. David again. I'm not going to thank a lot of the current leaders right now because you guys are not done with it now. I will mention Pat O'Leary. I'm not going to say anything. Some people have been asking me why I decided to choose now to move on. And, this joke probably would fall flat a lot of you, but I didn't want to be like the last season of Happy Days. No, seriously though. It just occurred to me, and it was kind of a thing growing in my mind a little bit, but I thought what better time to pass this troop on when it's doing so well, when it's in such fantastic shape, and the scouts that we have are doing great things. The youth leadership has been just blossoming after a number of years. Thanks, Brian, for a lot of that, for most of that, all of that, and Pat has been taking that on, and all of our youth leadership tradition has just been making this troop great. So it's a good time for me to feel real confident that I can not step away, but just step back and let it continue. And Mark's serious about not quitting this thing. I guess I don't have a choice. So the other thing is I promised that I would not go scoutmaster for any other troops. Well, the ship is trying to get me, but I said I couldn't. Okay, I probably talked to a couple other people I do want to mention. My brother Tim cannot be here. He is he was a senior patrol leader in this troop. He made it to life. I only made it to star. He's still kicking himself for not making it to Eagle. He just doesn't understand why he didn't do that. But he is he's actually in the U.S. Army right now, stationed in Washington D.C., so he couldn't be here. Our family got to be together as recent as last week. We were all in my brother and my dad and Rosemary and Teresa, and my brother's family were all in Disney World last week. So I can't complain about that. But my brother was scout in this troop, and actually him and I got to be in the troop for just a little while together. He is 6 years younger than me, so that's a neat thing. He's come Tom off and on over the years. He was up there a few years ago, you might remember. My father is here. I don't know if you can see. He's also needs to he's here with my new mom, Rosemary. So they just got back from their AMFES meeting, which is great. They're all full postal veterans, which I'm very proud of. But yeah, I think my dad got more involved with scouts when my brother became a scout. He was actually troop treasurer for a while, and Teresa got the checkbook. There were actually entries in the check register in his handwriting when Teresa took over. So that was kind of neat to see. But to repeat that memory, when I think at Tomahawk, and I was camping in Mingo for a couple years, and you guys, we can't get rid of your parents at Tomahawk now. In those days, it was just Tom Wilhelmsen and maybe one young assistant scoutmaster. That's all it was at the camp. It's hard to believe. But the parents would come on Saturday, and that was kind of a great memory to see my dad come walking down that path and pick me up. So that was really fantastic. So thanks, Dad, for supporting me.